Alright, in this video I'm going to be showing off a build for the Raining Goblins map on Nightmare Hardcore. What you're going to need here is a Trap Huntress and a Squire, a Tower Squire. You can do it with a DPS hero as well, but that's not necessary. The DPS hero can potentially save you from getting a hit on your crystal. Every single time I've done this, consistently I've gotten hit once. It's never been more, it's never been less. But here are my stats on the heroes that I'll be using. So the idea here came from, I don't think I have the stats to be able to do Nightmare Hardcore on the summit. I'm at like Tornado Valley or something on Nightmare Hardcore. But I would have to, I don't know a build yet, and I would just have to look up builds. But from farming Ancient Mines on Nightmare Hardcore on Survival, you get plenty of pieces of gear that are level 78, and you may want to, get to the level to use those. So I think this is a viable method in getting to level 78. You can run this map super fast, and you get about 1.5 mil XP every time. So I think this is definitely better than doing the summit on Insane Hardcore if you don't have the stats or the ability to do Nightmare Hardcore on the summit. The build is super simple. I'm going to show it without a DPS hero right here. You're just going to place down explosive traps basically everywhere. It's such a satisfying build. So I'm going to place down 4 explosive traps to start, and then I'm going to start putting down bouncer blockades in a circle, a tight circle around the crystal. If I remember from Dungeon Defenders 1, you didn't have this many defense units on this challenge. During the waves, I'm always going to be my Huntress. I'm only going to switch back to my Squire one more time to finish the circle. In Dungeon Defenders 1, though, I feel like you didn't have enough defense, or you didn't have all these defense units. I feel like you could only do the bouncer blockades in a circle around. But that was still a pretty fun build. So I'm going to swap back to the Squire here on wave 2. Complete the circle of bouncer blockades around the crystal. Make sure they're tight enough together to where nothing can walk in between them. Because they are bouncer blockades. If something gets between them while they're on cooldown between their own hits, they might just bounce them towards the crystal if they don't die. Then I'm going to swap back to my Huntress for the rest of the time. I'm going to be on the Huntress during waves to get that 30% boost on the proximity mine traps. Those are definitely doing the most damage here. After the setup, though, you can just fly through these waves. I'm just going to start putting explosive traps, covering as much surface area on the map as I can in most of the spots that goblins drop. Right here, I probably could speed it up by just starting the combat phase. I probably don't need to be doing this during the build phase. I switched my DPS to just run back here. I would have a character without a rock to be able to run, especially on build phases that are timed. We got 2 more traps to put down, 1 on either side of the crystal. But you can just see the enemies left drop so fast every time these traps go off. All of these traps are chained together, so when one gets tripped, all of them get tripped. The end of the wave is a little awkward, because normally there is that one or two goblins being left over. And right there I'm just G'ing through the build phase. I haven't tried yet, but I may, with my current stats, be able to just do this without repairing any of the traps, and that's really the goal. That speeds up this farm even more. Just gonna start combat phase right away. So when the orcs start dropping, there will be a time, probably, where an orc will just fall on top of a bouncer blockade and get pushed at your crystal. Normally that only gets one hit for me. I've only ever seen it get one hit on the crystal, and if you have a DPS hero, you can prevent that one hit. But I just like how fast and chill this is. You can just kind of watch the number go down, the number of enemies left. You see it gets a little hectic with all the orcs, but my tower health on my squire is plenty good enough to keep the bouncer blockades up without having to repair them. I'm not upgrading anything. I'm not taking a lot of time managing my towers at all. Right there I see some traps that are pretty low. I am going to repair those, but I think I have enough on those traps to make it through without having to repair. But I'm going to take a second here, repair, and then start the combat phase. This is the last wave. Got one hit, and then the orc dies. So you don't even need to be that stressed about them. Some more fall in, they tend to die first. This is a super easy build, and it's super satisfying to just watch the numbers drop every time those proximity mines go off. You're gonna get really garbage loot here. You're not gonna get anywhere near late waves on the ancient mines, obviously. They're both Act 1 maps, and you're only going to Wave 7 here. But I think it is worth it for finishing this in about 5 minutes and getting 1.5-ish million XP. So that's it for the build. Thanks for watching.